What is going on, maniacs? Welcome to the Manga Madhouse. In today's video, you're going to be seeing a reading vlog for Solo Leveling. So if you don't know, the movie, I put movie in quotations, is coming out like early December. I'm probably going to go see it. Maybe not the first week it comes out, but probably the second week, just because in my city, that's the only time they really have like a daytime showing. That would be best for me to go. Obviously, because with a little one and whatnot, just going that time would probably be easiest for me. But I'm going to be reading volumes 1 through, I currently have volumes 1 through 8. Let me get that. There we go. I currently got volumes 1 through 8 up here. And then in a manga haul that I'm going to be doing sometime next week, because I got some manga still coming before I do that haul. Somewhere in here, I got volume 9 and 10, spoiler alert. And so I'm going to be reading all those to prepare for the movie. So if you're not familiar with the movie, basically it's just a recap of season 1 plus the next 2 episodes. Well, yeah, the first 2 episodes in season 2. I don't know anything about Solo Leveling. I was going to watch it as the episodes drop, but then I don't know. I just didn't. So what I'm going to do now is just read, talk about, my thoughts on the manga, or the manhwa, I'm sorry, my thoughts on the manhwa, and then I'm going to take you with me to go see the movie. So this video obviously will be recorded over the span of like 2-3 weeks, but I think it'll be fun regardless. Enjoy the show. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know how short it's going to be. I don't know if I'm going to talk to you after every volume. I don't know if I'm going to talk to you when I finish it, but either way, sit down, grab a snack, and enjoy the show. I say show, but enjoy the vlog. You get the point. What's up, maniacs? So I've decided that during this video for Solo Leveling, I am going to talk about each individual manga or manhwa. I'm sorry. Before the movie, I was trying to decide before I record this video whether or not I was going to do that, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just talk about them all. But then I kind of was, felt like that would kind of maybe mix things up. And these are just going to be brief overviews because I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long or 30 minutes long, probably 40 minutes long because it might be 20 minutes long. So I just want to briefly talk about each individual volume, at least physical volume. So right now I have 1 through 10. I'm trying to read those, of course, before the movie, and then we're going to talk about the movie. That's all going to be in one video. So I just want to make sure I kind of briefly touch on these. But what I am going to do is not maybe after every single one, but after like every 2, I'll kind of come back and we'll talk about it. But for the first volume, it was very interesting. I like the world we're kind of in. It felt like it was very, and at this point I read the first 3, but it felt very Dark Souls-ish, and it really does start to feel that way, like towards volume 3. And these reviews will be spoiler free, as much spoiler free as I can, and maybe I'll do another video like more in depth. Our main character is Jin Woo-sung, and he's just kind of a guy that is an E rank hunter, which that's one of the lower ranks. If not the lowest rank, he's known as the weakest hunter in the world. And I think he's an interesting character. Things happen in here that that obviously have him change in a way, but overall I think this first volume was just a really good setup. I really liked how we're introduced into the world. It didn't feel as though it was too much history. It felt as though I'm learning backstory of kind of how this world become as it is, or just learning more about the world as we progress through the story without having to take away from the story. Let's show you this flashback. Let's talk about this. And now as we're going through the story, I'm getting like all the detailed information I need to understand what's going on now. And there's already different powers and different people and different characters that they may not be the main character, they might not even be the side character, but you get enough of their personality to like add that into the melting pot of characters so that it doesn't feel like it's too stagnant. And while Jin Woo-sung is our main character, sorry, someone rang my doorbell, now I'm all disoriented, but as I was saying, you get enough of the other characters to just kind of help set up the world, help build up your character. Like I said, Jin Woo obviously is the main character, but you get enough to have him interact with other people, and they're not just blocks, so it does add some like layers to the story. So that first volume I thought was a really good job of just setting everything up and kind of what we're in for. It felt tense the whole way through. It was the first volume. I know I had 9 other physical volumes ago, but it didn't feel like the situation they were in was resolvable. Like it really felt tense the whole way through, and I really enjoyed that. Now to talk about the second volume, I think the second volume, what I liked about it is that there's monsters in these dungeons that these hunters got to go through and fight and whatnot. But I did really like that in the second volume we're getting the other side of it. So it could have, this Mom easily could have been a series that it's just, oh, they go in dungeons, they fight monsters, they get rewards, so on and so forth. Kind of like how you would play in Skyrim, Dark Souls, whatnot. But what I really like about this second volume is kind of like you see the other side of that, and by that I mean like sometimes the people you go in these dungeons with are not the nicest people, or sometimes there's complexities outside of just these monsters that you have to fight, and that to me just opened my eyes. I was like, okay, cool, we're already getting this. It's not like taking until the 10th volume or 24 chapters, or no, we're getting this very, very soon, and I really like that. And then it also sets up, something happens in there that also sets up story on for later. But the way it sets it up, it doesn't have to be later as in the next volume. It doesn't have to be later as in the next 2 volumes. No, the way they set it up so gracefully is that it allows this story to carry on, but this side story, which kind of is the main story, is get pushed back, but you're at the, you're always checking your shoulder in a sense of, okay, when is this going to have a play? But everything happening up to throughout the story and what's your main focus, it in a way still ties to what they kind of put that Easter egg in, or that seed in to happen later on. So I really like that. That's how you can kind of tell, like, I wouldn't say a convoluted story or a complex story, but that's a good way of just being able to have, here's this what you think is the main story. This story is front and center, but we also planted the seed that something else is going to happen down the line, and we're reminding you of it as you go into this story that's on Main Street, like the main story that you're looking at, but it hasn't happened yet, and you're anticipating it, but it has not happened yet. But it doesn't feel like it's dragging it out, and I think that's just incredible already. So if you cannot tell, I really love this series. But now we need to move on to Volume 3. In Volume 3, we're seeing Jinwoo continuously become stronger, and I mean that's kind of what you expect, but once again, complexity. I really like how, we're fighting monsters and whatnot, but to me, this volume felt more Dark Souls, Skyrim, all these other games. I say Dark Souls, Skyrim, those are the games I played the most. You can throw Elden Ring in there. So there's plenty of other games that follow this. Black Wukong or whatever it's called. That game, I also play that. Which, I play that game on Twitch sometimes. So go ahead and follow me on Twitch, and we'll see if we can set that up some more. What I really like about this volume is just the fact that we are getting the complexity of the monsters. Like, this felt as though, okay, he's not just in there slashing monsters. There's deeper meaning, deeper levels to this. So that just has been really enjoyable. I felt as though the first volume was kind of like, okay, we're setting up the monsters. This is how strong they can be. These are things they can do. These are people interact with these monsters, and so on and so forth. But in this third volume, we're getting like different kind of monsters already. The different abilities. There's different reasons for these monsters appearing. There's different just all kinds of stuff, different weaponry, different skill. Like, it's just so much. And then also we still also get a touch on just the people aspect. Like, yes, these are monsters, but people are monsters too, and they're coming at you from every different way, because the person in volume 3 that is, out to get them is not the same as the people in volume 2. And yeah, just incredible stuff. I really, really enjoy this manga. So manhwa, jeez, I keep saying manhwa. So now I'm going to keep reading. I'm probably going to read volume 4 and 5, and then I'll be back to talk more about the series, because like I said, I really, really enjoy this series. So a lot of stuff happened last time we talked. At that time, I finished up volumes 1, 2, and 3 of the manhwa Solo Leveling, which, that's what this video is all about. And then I just finished reading 4. Now, incredible stuff that happened in volume 4. But real quick, I just want to say that I found out that the first season of Solo Leveling covers up into a certain arc. And I have already finished that arc. I think it was like the first 50 pages of volume 4 kind of wrapped up that arc, and that's kind of where I've been told that's where season 1 ends. And then I read the rest of volume 4, which I would presume that the beginning of season 2, which the movie covers the first 2 episodes of season 2, would be wrapped up in that volume. So I'm going to make a safe call that I've read enough to kind of be ready for the movie. like I said, that's only volume 4, so we still have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will continue to read the series. I'm not just going to read that and then not watch the series or catch up to the series. I love this series. Like, I think that's a spoiler. I've already told you how much I like it. But let's talk about volume 4, and then we'll do the whole vlog thing about going to the movie. I got my ticket today. My wife is actually coming with me. She doesn't know anything about the series, but she just wants movie popcorn. Can't blame her. Anyway, so volume 4. We got Jin Woo. He's able to realize that he's a necromancer. I think he gets another title after that, and I forgot what it is. But this essentially allows him to control monsters. And at that point, he starts to, utilize that power. We get some epic fight, like a lot of epic fight scenes in here. We get things that we've never seen in terms of the gates. We get monsters and beasts and enemies we've never seen before. And then also in this volume, I think that we're really getting like the details of the real story that's going on here. So a lot of this up until this volume has been a lot of build up. Like I've said, that it hints at things that could happen in the future. It hints at like, okay, there's more here. We've met characters that we felt like is going to play a part later, and we got to understand those characters and see how more likely they would impact the story. In this volume, while there was a lot of fighting and great stuff happening, I still think that a lot of stuff has, I wouldn't say been resolved, but just made clear. I think that's really what happened in this volume, is that we just got a lot of things that made clear. Nothing's left up to interpretation. Well, of the previous from the previous first 3 volumes, we did get some stuff that is now on the rise. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening that will hopefully be resolved or made clear in future volumes. But as of volume 4, I think that a lot of things from the previous volumes got cleared up, and now we're just on to the next arc, really. But there was some good stuff in here. Like I said, I just really enjoy like the aspect, the video game aspect. Like I really, really like that. I know I've said it before, but it's just so detailed and it's just done right. It's not just like, oh, we're trying to be like a video game and we're just gonna add some video game elements. So for our gamers, you'll catch on and that'll be funny or that'll be cool. No, they're really like into it, where every item has this long description. You get levels, you get buffs, and all this stuff. And some attacks don't work, so you got to use certain moves. Like it's very, very well thought out. It's just not, we're going to mimic a video game in a storytelling form. No, they did their research. They really like took the elements of some of your favorite games and kind of encapsulated all into this story. And I just really, really like it. So yeah, that's what I get from volume 4. I'm being very vague in these. I'm not trying to go into detail because you may not have seen it. You may want to be interested in it. This is a series that I may just like in passing, just do a video where I am talking in more detail because I really enjoy this series. I think that it's the cool thing about where I'm at in my manga journey, in this case manhwa, is that there's still so much for me to read. I think I've only read, and by read I just mean like I've either started or finished, like it's a variation of those. I've only read like 30 or 35 series, so there's still a lot to read, and I'm still at the point where not every time, but a lot of times I pick up a series and I'm like, this is in my top 10. This is in my top 10. This is in my top 10. And it makes me think like, am I being too lenient? Am I, letting too many things just take over? But no, I think that there's just a lot of good stuff. I'm like, I haven't read a bad manga or a bad story. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I think I'm on a roll here, and I want to be very careful on what my next series is going to be. So far, if you have not read it, great series. So far, like I said, but once I get caught up to all the physical volumes, I probably will do a video just in depth, just really talking about it. I don't want to give it away, even though, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you may have seen it, but still, I don't want to, just in case. But like I said, about to get ready, and I'll catch you guys probably when we're going to the movie, and then yeah, I'll see you then. All right, so we're here at the movie theater. We're about to go watch Solo Leveling. I brought my wife by popular demand. Are you ready to see? You don't even know what this is about. Nope, I'm going in with a blind eye. She doesn't know a character. I don't even know if he knows what he looks like. She doesn't know anything. So we're gonna see if she likes it. Her opinion is gonna be the most important, because it's always important to get like a blind anime fan's opinion on certain anime stuff. So your opinion will be valid. So take notes. She's not gonna take no. She's gonna be eating popcorn. But after the movie, we're gonna come in here and then we're gonna review it, and then we'll be done with the video, right?
Yes.
So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. All right, so we are out the movie. I would like to ask you, what are your thoughts on it as someone who's never, you didn't know what you were about to watch. You just came with me to the movies for the popcorn.
Right. And it was good. I'll say that.
The popcorn?
But yeah, it was okay.
It was okay.
I feel like once we got to the bottom, it was a little stale, but that's not what you guys came here for. So, as someone who's never seen or heard anything actually about Solo Leveling, that's what it's called. I would say it was really good. I'm gonna give it a 8.5.
Oh, that's high.
I know, right?
That's high.
Out of 10. I enjoyed it. As soon as like as soon as I got to the car originally, before we came here, I was like, is it gonna be like a lot of action? Because that's kind of like, I would say that's kind of like the type of anime, like,
that's what you like.
I like that. I like to see fighting, all that stuff. It keeps my attention. Even though one of my favorite animes, The Promised Neverland, is just a little bit slow. They got busy. Yeah, as soon as, because I don't know what's going on. However, I also feel like it was very easy to follow for someone
I thought so too,
who didn't know what was going on, which means they pretty much gave a lot of detail from, I guess, the show or the manga or whatever. They were giving detail, like they would be like, oh, this is happening because of this, like a chain reaction type of detail. So I could appreciate that personally, since I hadn't seen or done any research, because I didn't want to. I kind of want to go in with like a blank slate, just because I don't know, like,
it's more fun now.
It was kind of fun. It was fun not knowing what to expect, because then whenever something would happen and my jaw dropped, I think it was a funny reaction for him too.
It was.
So
but yeah, I thought it was really good for someone who's read the manhwa, because they're Korean in there.
Oh, so you called it mama?
It's manhwa, not mama. It's called manhwa.
Manhwa.
That's why if you notice, everybody's name was like Woo, Sun, Kim.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So, just because they're in Korea.
I said mama.
You said mama.
I didn't understand what you said just then. Okay.
Manhwa.
Okay.
But yeah, someone that's read it, I thought they did a good job, like you said, of just catching up and helping you follow. And as someone who's read it, I see that, like, in reality, the only thing they really cut out is like super detailed stuff that maybe give you a little more backstory, but doesn't necessarily it didn't ruin the movie or the whatever you want to call it for people who have not seen it. So it just made sure, like, enough to keep watching. But there's some stuff that, like, I would explain to you that if you read it or watched it, you probably wouldn't need to explain. But it doesn't, like, I get why they didn't, just because it was already 2 hours. I think it was exactly 2 hours. So they needed to obviously keep it short, but I thought it was really good. And as someone that's read it instead of watching the anime, I thought it was cool that it's cool to see fights and then see them animated, like, because I've always wondered, since I'm late to reading manga and all that stuff, I've always wondered, like, what is the appeal of, like, if you've already read it, what's the appeal of watching it? Because you know what's gonna happen. Sometimes they do change stuff. A lot of times they change stuff.
They'll change stuff and leave stuff out, or it's not as, I don't know, it's not as good. It's also like reading a book.
And how they take stuff out.
I'm gonna refer to Twilight again.
Oh goodness.
Like how there are things in the Twilight books.
When's the last time you read a Twilight book?
First of all, that's not the point.
Never?
No, I have some of them.
Oh.
Remember?
Did you ever read them?
I read the first one.
Yeah, phony. Fraud.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And people always say, like, with Twilight, there's stuff that happened in the books that, that it's not in the... Am I thinking Twilight or
I mean, that's everything.
Or the Hunger Games?
I know Hunger Games too.
I think it's the Hunger Games that's way more detailed than the movie.
Yeah, but they just did a good job. And like I said, it's cool to see it, like, being animated, and you're like, oh wow, and then another thing is, like, the sound design and the music. It's like, oh, that's kind of what I was thinking in my head of what it would sound like. So it's really cool to kind of see some of the things that you thought about while reading come to life. But yeah, overall I thought it was really good. The The only thing is that they leave out like the very, very beginning, so I thought that was strange. They kind of glossed over that, but I get it. Like the very, very beginning doesn't matter. In for that, it doesn't matter, but it definitely made you want to go back and watch the anime. So yes, I guess it did its job.
It made me want to watch the anime. I have something to say.
Do you remember? I remember you said that.
Yeah, I remember, but I don't know if this is more of a character flaw or what. First, let me ask this: how many seasons of the show are there?
There's only one right now.
So okay, so that was in preparation for number 2.
So what we saw at the very end was the first 2 episodes of season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't realize that this was a new show.
Yeah, it's really new.
New anime. Okay, so that's one thing. Because Darian is always talking about Dragon Ball Z and how it's kind of like a cop-out that Goku always strong. Always strong.
Yeah.
And so do you feel that way about this guy?
Jinwoo.
Because it's like every time you turn around he's leveling up.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that's because that's the point of this show, and so maybe it's not such a cop-out. But when I was watching it, I was like, all right, like every little thing is like he's getting stronger, he's getting stronger. And I also like I'm about to switch topics real quick, but I like the fact that it's like a video game type of thing.
Yeah, that's my favorite part too.
Because it's just different. And like I said, I didn't know anything, because I was like, solo leveling, what could that mean? But I, understand it now. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Sorry, this is my mom brain jumping all over the place before I forget something. How did you feel about that?
I think
do you think that's a character flaw?
I feel like it's a little different.
It's a little different. So it's not like Goku or like what's his name, One Punch Man.
Oh yeah, I feel the reason I feel like it's different is because with Jinwoo, that it seems like solo leveling, like that's part of it. But even then, like he's not strong enough to do a lot of stuff. So like at the end where he tried to get that guy to be like on his thing, like he wasn't strong enough to do that. They tell you like there's parts where he's like, if this didn't happen, I really wouldn't have been able to do it. Yeah. And then also I feel like the show really doesn't seem like it's all about how strong he is. It's more just about that world in general. I think they did a really good job of world building. As I feel like with Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball, whatever you want to call it, it's about Goku. Yeah. And so we don't know anything about really anybody else. I mean, except like Vegeta. Yeah. But like, and even in Solo Leveling, like you don't really know anything about anybody else. But I think that the world, like you have the different hunters, the ranks, the different guilds and all that stuff, and then like the different people. Like we saw that. Like I like one thing I really like about it, and I've said this early in the video, but not here, is that I like that it's not like, oh, it's just new monsters fighting over, because sometimes you see that it's not just monsters that they're worried about, it's people. You know what I'm saying?
That threw me for a loop, because I was like, anyways, I can't really say unless you guys want us to talk about it.
But then also it's different kinds of, everybody's not the same either. So like one person was this way, but this guy was just different, like he was different from him, and then like just all that, and then like the whole secret, like it's just a lot. So yeah, I get it. Like
it was giving that vibe of like in Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo?
In Scooby-Doo, when like the monsters would be humans in a mask. Oh yeah. That's the type of vibe it was giving.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's
Scooby-Doo is crazy.
I'm just saying.
I know what you mean though.
It's like, so
it's not just the monsters they should be worried about.
Yeah, because there were some points where I was like, I don't know, because when I was watching it in there's a lot of times when I was like guessing things. Yeah. And I was like, and I feel like that is a flaw in the way that we watch TV in general. That's what makes it fun though. Yeah. We always try to guess stuff. But that's my long answer of why I feel like it's different. Like in the grand scheme of things, I do agree with what you're saying. Like he probably just gonna keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. But I don't think the problems that he's facing has anything to do with how strong he is. Like for Goku and them, it's like this new monster's coming, this new being is coming, this alien's coming, and he's stronger than ever. All right, so let's train and get stronger. In this case, it's like there's other stuff. Like being strong is part of it for sure, because like he won't be able to fight if he's weak.
but there's just a bunch of other stuff that go. Like he's still learning how to like, even as strong as he's still learning what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I just feel like it's a little different. So while he is getting stronger, I feel like I should say the process of him getting stronger is more complicated than with Goku. With Goku, it's like he trains one day and then all of a sudden he's unlocking this new Super Saiyan thing that no one's ever done.
Right.
But in this case, a lot of things that Jinwoo's going through, it's been documented that it has happened before. It's just rare. So it's not like with Goku, it's like he's done something that no one's ever done before every time. It's like, no, we just haven't seen it in a very long time.
Yeah.
So it makes you think that at some point, which people who probably read it ahead, because I want to say it's done as far as the books wise. If you read ahead, you probably could say, but it seems as though at some point he's going to meet his match. Because I said, none of the stuff hasn't been done before.
I was gonna say, like,
what?
somebody kind of said, like,
oh yeah, I mean, there's people,
he basically was like, I know who you are.
Yeah. So it's just like that. That's just what I feel like is different. But that's a good point though. I just feel like it's more about just how you tell it. For me, Dragon Ball is like, that's all it's about, is how strong Goku can get to fight these aliens. Wow, that's similar here. I think there's other stuff that's added to it that makes it more interesting to me.
I agree. And my last thing that I want to say is, I enjoyed how serious everything was. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it was very serious.
It wasn't very comical. There was like little funny things here and there, but it didn't have like a really funny part that was like until like
the very
end. I love a serious anime because, like, I don't know. It just,
you don't like it when it's too goofy.
I don't like it. I don't like all that goofy stuff.
That's why she doesn't like One Piece. They're gonna be mad at you for that. But you don't even know you don't like it.
I like the live action.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
I feel like it does.
No. Well, on our reaction channel, we're gonna watch it. So
it's so much.
Whenever we make it.
Yeah. Well.
But so, any final thoughts?
I think we've about wrapped it up. I don't want to say too much if people haven't seen it or whatever.
But this is your sign to go see it if you're interested in it and you watch this video, because at this point it's like 20 minutes in. If you watch the video, though, then you're more likely interested. You should check it out.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it.